Thanks for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Charlene Aaron.
And I'm Ephraim Graham. Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle say VA Secretary Eric Shinseki needs to resign. This comes even as he insists that he can correct the problems with the VA health system. Support from the White House is also waning. Our Caitlin Burke has got the story.
VA Secretary Eric Shinseki is fighting for his job, on Thursday making a case to Democratic lawmakers and veterans groups. Shinseki says he can repair the Department of Veterans Affairs, but calls for his resignation are mounting. Lawmakers saying it's time to bring in someone new.
This was not one rogue operation in Phoenix, but this was a systemic failure, and it's time for a change.
Stories continue to pour in of veterans who say they were not only let down by the VA, but in the case of Patty Phelps, left to die.
The PA that saw me in the women's clinic there told me that I should go home and die gracefully. And so I didn't take her at her suggestion.
Phelps sought treatment outside of the VA, and she says that's why she's alive today. But the cost of that treatment left her with nothing.
Because when I had to go outside the VA to get medical help, I lost everything. And I'm deep in debt. So, and people say, well, just be glad you're alive. At my age, it's a hard way to have to live.
CBN News spoke with Verna Jones from the American Legion. She says they're constantly receiving calls from concerned and disappointed veterans.
Their faith in the system is fading fast. And with that, the American Legion is standing by it. We want to help veterans, help the VA so veterans' faith can be restored in that system. They deserve a system set up for them so they can receive great health care, and veterans deserve that.
Back in Washington, the White House is lackluster in its support for Shinseki.
We are focused on getting to the root of the problem.
House Speaker John Boehner says the president should be held accountable for the VA mess. He says the GAO knew about the situation long ago.
And for the president to say he didn't know anything about it is rather shocking. And so the president is going to have to step up here and show some real leadership.
Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
The U.S. House has voted in favor of blocking the federal government from interfering with states that allow the use of medical marijuana. The vote came as lawmakers debated a bill funding the Justice Department's budget. The California congressman who wrote the amendment pointed to an overwhelming change in public opinion about medical marijuana uses, such as improving the appetites of cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy.
For the first time in 3 years, the U.S. economy shrank. In the first quarter of 2014, the gross domestic product fell 1%. This comes after early government estimates predicted the economy would grow by 1.1% between January and March. Economists blame the bad winter weather for the shrinking GDP, and many expect a rebound in the April to June quarter.
Well, one group especially concerned with the U.S. economy, recent college graduates.
As they leave school looking for employment, some worry they won't be able to find work. But some experts say there are more opportunities for the class of 2014. The jobless rate for college graduates in their 20s is now at 10.9%. Still high, but down nearly 2.5% since 2012. And while it is encouraging news for many just getting out of school, some are still skeptical they'll land the job they want.
I am a little bit afraid, but I think I have a bit of a plan. I started my own graphic design company while I was in school, so I'm going to continue with that if I don't find a job.
Most students hope to find a job in their area of study, but many settle for positions that have nothing to do with their degree. And analysts say the economy suffers as a result.
The fact that we have so many young graduates who are either not working or working in a job that doesn't require the skills they have, that's part of the gap in our economy. That's part of the difference between what we could be producing as an economy and what we are producing.
A study conducted by the National Association of Colleges and Employers found employers plan to hire 8.6% more recent graduates, an increase over last year's graduating class.
As a matter of fact, I already found a job, and I'm very happy with it, so I'm very excited.
And according to the NAC, the average starting salary for those leaving school with bachelor's degrees is up 1.2% since 2013. And among the most popular jobs for graduates in 2014 are positions in the medical field, specifically dentistry, nursing, physicians, or physical therapy.
Turning overseas, U.S. defense officials have confirmed Russia has pulled most of its forces away from Ukraine's border, but there is still more work to be done to calm tensions in eastern Ukraine. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel told reporters that thousands of Russian troops have been pulled back, but many thousands still remain. Meanwhile, Ukraine's acting president says 12 troops died when rebels shot down a military helicopter in Sloviansk. The White House continues to call on Russia to push separatists to end the fighting and to release a group of international monitors who have been detained.
United Nations peacekeepers are trying to ease escalating tension in the Central African Republic as Muslim and Christian groups launch fresh attacks on each other. Thursday, a group of young Christians waged a retaliatory attack and destroyed one of the last mosques in Bangui. That is in response to an attack on a Catholic church that left more than a dozen people dead, including a priest. The UN barricaded roads in that city Wednesday, and businesses closed in fear of revenge attacks after the funerals.
North Korea is the world's top persecutor of Christians. The nation's leaders have rejected anything Christian. Yet in the heart of Pyongyang, a Christian-backed university is bringing Western education to the country's elite. Gary Lane has more.
Graduation ceremonies are common occurrences this time of year at American colleges and universities. But look closely, this is no Ivy League school. These 44 students, all males, received their diplomas from Pyongyang University of Science and Technology in North Korea. It's a first-time event for the Hermit Kingdom. Never before have science and technology students graduated from a foreign-funded, foreign-staffed university in their country. In 2011, university founder and president James Chin Kyung Kim appeared on the 700 Club shortly after the university opened.
We are training the top elite. So now over 300 students we are teaching. And this Pyongyang University of the Science and Technology is very different than any other university in the world.
Different because North Koreans live in a closed, militaristic, authoritarian society. Rarely are they given access and exposure to foreigners and Western ideas. But here they learn computer engineering, agriculture and life science, and international finance and management. Students are given internet access, and their housing and meals far exceed the quality of other North Korean universities. Their professors are foreigners, like this instructor who likened his homework experience to teacher's heaven.
Because we give them homework, but we tell them only do 5, but they usually do 10. And then on the weekend, maybe sometimes we say, oh, you have too much homework in the other class, so no homework, but they do homework anyway.
While the school is backed by evangelical Christians in South Korea and the United States, the university does not promote Christianity. Kim says he's not a communist or a capitalist, he's a loveist who is building bridges of peace on the Korean peninsula. He says before he started the university, he was arrested and accused of being a CIA spy. His North Korean captors forced him to write a will, but he responded with love because he wanted to build bridges of peace on the Korean peninsula.
Peace comes with the price. Everyone would like to have peace, but who must to pay the price? Who's going to pay? We, our Christian, God's people, can pay the price.
And most of the class of 2014 graduates say they'll either continue their advanced studies in Europe or immediately begin work. Gary Lane, CBN News.
Coming up, the sweet snack that is actually good for you, why chocoholics everywhere can celebrate.
The American Bible Challenge is back. Premiering May 22nd at 8/7 Central. Jeff Foxworthy is ready to play.
The whole family's gonna love it.
Kurt Franklin's gonna sway.
Are you ready?
And you'll see the Bible in a whole new way.
Don't I look chic?
That was impressive.
An all-new season premieres Thursday, May 22nd at 8, 7 Central, only on Game Show Network.
Pat Boone here with some good news you can trust. Today, our faith, families, and our freedoms are under attack. Polls say 2 out of 3 Americans no longer trust government. A stalled economy, weakening dollar, and politicians willing to steal money from our children to waste on unfixable problems. So, whom can you trust? Well, our money still says in God we trust. But do we? Or have we quietly allowed the things we hold sacred to be stolen by the enemies of traditional values? Today, our government spends almost twice its income, running up a tab for future generations into the hundreds of trillions. How can you stop this from happening to your family? Well, it's all covered in a fantastic new book, The Great Withdrawal by Craig Smith and Dr. Lowell Ponte. Every American needs to read this book. Why don't you call now for a free copy of The Great Withdrawal? It's the simple truth you can trust.
The American Bible Challenge is back. Premiering May 22nd at 8, 7 Central. Jeff Foxworthy is ready to play.
The whole family's gonna love it.
Kurt Franklin's gonna sway.
Are you ready?
And you'll see the Bible in a whole new way.
Don't I look chic?
That was impressive.
An all-new season premieres Thursday, May 22nd at 8, 7 Central, only on Game Show Network.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes and Google Play now.
Thousands have been sickened by a painful mosquito-borne virus in the Caribbean. The outbreak of the chikungunya virus was first detected in the Eastern Caribbean 5 months ago. Symptoms include high fever, headache, and joint pain. The Pan American Health Organization reports more than 55,000 suspected cases in Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and other islands. 7 deaths are associated with the virus. Health officials have confirmed at least 3 cases in the U.S. CBN's Operation Blessing is providing medicine to help treat the virus in Haiti. OB will distribute meds to clinics in poor rural areas of the country.
Drug-resistant diseases are now a major threat to global health. A combination of antibiotic misuse and poor hospital hygiene is causing once treatable diseases to progress. According to a new report from the World Health Organization, antibiotic resistance allows bacterial infections to evolve into incurable superbugs. The new report is the first of its kind to look at the global impact of the issue, studying 114 countries. The World Health Organization says if the world doesn't respond, the results could be devastating.
Well, you may recall a while ago we told you that resveratrol in red wine, chocolate, and grapes might not be as healthy as we thought. Well, you can take heart. As Lori Johnson explains, chocolate still contains other ingredients that are actually good for you.
Most people know green veggies like broccoli are good for you, and blueberries are rich in healthy antioxidants. Now we're learning more about the cocoa bean, where we get chocolate. Doctors say the antioxidant found in cocoa keeps your blood flowing.
Flavonoids are something that, depending on what food it is, will help different systems. And so the main flavonoid in chocolate is called flavanol. And flavanol will help to improve blood pressure. It helps the blood to clot better so it doesn't get sticky in the arteries.
Chocolate, a health food? It sounds too good to be true. And as it turns out, there actually are a couple catches.
Make sure you choose the kind with a high percentage of cocoa because it contains the most flavanols. Unfortunately, flavanols tend to make chocolate taste bitter.
And you really want to look for dark chocolate and that high percentage of cocoa. You know, maybe that 70%. So the brand doesn't matter. It just really matters on the type of chocolate. So that dark chocolate, that high percentage of cocoa.
In order to reap the most benefits of chocolate, you only need a small amount.
I would recommend 1 ounce of a dark chocolate a few times a week. I don't think it's something that you have to, have every day.
Some people avoid chocolate because it contains fat, but Jeffers says don't worry about that.
The stearic acid was shown that it does not improve or make your cholesterol worse. So that type of saturated fat in chocolate is actually okay to have.
So chocolate can be good for you. Just go dark and enjoy it in moderation. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Up next, the neurosurgeon who once separated conjoined twins is now trying to unite our nation. Dr. Ben Carson joins us next.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Religiously themed speeches are no longer allowed at a West Virginia high school graduation ceremony. Retired football coach Leon McCoy has given a speech at Winfield High School's graduation every year for the past decade, and he usually includes prayer and scripture. Well, now that is all over after several people complained to the Putnam County School District. The principal of the school, who is also a Christian, said he doesn't agree with the law, but he has to enforce it. Coach McCoy agrees, saying Christians must obey the law.
In Arizona, a small church that helps the homeless could be forced into foreclosure over a hefty tax bill that it might not actually owe. La Paz County says the Isaiah 58 Project Church must pay $68,000. But the Arizona Department of Revenue says the church doesn't even owe that money. Attorneys representing the church say state courts won't defer the payment until the suit is over. Legal counsel Eric Stanley says churches shouldn't live in fear of being punished by the government when they've done nothing wrong. But that's precisely what is happening to this church. If the church can't pay up by June 15th, it will be forced to foreclose.
Well, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to realize that America is in trouble, although it may take one to fix the problem. Recently, I spoke with Dr. Ben Carson about his plan. But first, here's this.
He stood a few feet from President Obama and warned our nation about the dangers of moral decay. He's Dr. Ben Carson, a neurosurgeon who's known for his conservative social and political views. He says Americans are compromising on their values, and the phrase, "in God we trust," is becoming an obsolete cliche. In his book, One Nation, Dr. Carson shares what actions we can take to once again become one nation under God and save our country's future.
And joining me now to discuss his new book on saving America's future is Dr. Ben Carson, author of One Nation. Dr. Carson, thank you so much for being here. This is already #1 on New York's bestseller list already. Number one, one week out. Yeah. Why did you choose to write this book, One Nation?
Well, you know, we, looking at the nation, recognized that we were not moving in the right direction. And I think most Americans would agree that we're off the rail. We've become incredibly divided. Instead of the United States of America, we're the divided states of America. And so we wrote this book to help Americans realize that we, the American people, are not each other's enemies.
Indeed.
The real enemies are those people who use every device possible to divide us up.
Now, you talk a lot about common decency, common sense for Americans. You say that that can help restore our nation to greatness. How so?
Well, one of the things that really propelled us so quickly to the pinnacle is that we had Judeo-Christian values. And, you know, we had compassion toward each other. Instead of trying to put each other down, you know, we helped each other. We worked together. We combined our forces. And I think one of our real strengths was that we did have a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds. But that diversity is not a weakness. It is really a strength. Absolutely. If you use it in a positive way. And we simply have to get back to not being ashamed of our relationship with God. You know, our money says it, in God we trust. Our Pledge of Allegiance says, one nation under God. Many courtrooms in the land on the wall, it says, in God we trust. You know, it's all over. You look at our monuments, you look at things, and yet we're ashamed of it. Or we allow people to bludgeon us into submission. And they say, you can't put that up, or you can't say that, or you can't read that. And we listen to them. And what we have to start doing is standing up and saying, look, you're welcome not to do it, but you can't tell me what I want to do. This is America. We have to stand up for our rights.
Absolutely. What do you think is the most dangerous thing looming over our country right now?
Well, the thing that threatens our immediate extinction is the debt. You know, 17.5 trillion moving toward 18 trillion. To count to 17 trillion, it would take you 539,000 years if you could do one number per second, which you can't because it takes you longer than that.
You really captured the country's attention last year at the National Prayer Breakfast. You talk about that in the book as well. You express some tough love for this country. Remind our audience the heart of that message.
We're becoming more of a what can you do for me society than a can-do society. And excuse-making. And, you know, when I talked about excuse-making, some people say, yeah, you're talking about the president. I was not talking about him. I'm talking about what's happening in our nation as a whole and how we have got to learn to take personal responsibility, how we have got to learn the importance of hard work again. And that's how the whole tax thing came in, talking about what is fair taxation, because you hear so much talk about some people not paying their fair share. And so I said, what could be a better example than the Bible? Proportional taxation, tithing.
Many Americans are hoping that you will run for president. Any thoughts on that?
You know, I will do whatever God wants me to do. And I will not be Jonah and run away. But at the same time, I will not over-interpret things and think that I should be doing something. I will wait on the Lord.
Dr. Carson, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to spend time with you.
My pleasure.
Thank you. God bless you.
Absolutely.
Do you have an idea for an invention or a new product? Brian and Alice Jagosh, the inventors of the halftime drill driver, did. They invented a power drill attachment that lets you drill, flip, and drive in seconds. Brian and Alice licensed their invention to the company that brought you the Snuggie, and it's now selling in major retailers nationwide. Look for the Invent Help Caveman on the package. If you have an invention that you would like to try to patent and submit to companies for possible review and want free information on how InventHelp may be able to assist you, call now. InventHelp is America's largest inventor service company with sales offices in more than 60 cities nationwide. Call InventHelp today for free information. Our clients made a financial gain with their invention, but this is just their individual result. Brian and Alice's experience is not typical, as only a very small number of inventions are licensed or sold in stores.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-800-559-8567. That's 1-800-559-8567.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
The family-friendly movie Mom's Night Out recently enjoyed a successful debut in theaters across the country. The film is a comedy about the joys and challenges of being a mother. It's the latest in a growing list of faith-based family films, but some say the film is sexist and insulting. Joining us to talk about that is one of the film's co-directors, John Irwin. John, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
First of all, Mom's Night Out finished in the top 10 at the box office on Mother's Day weekend. Tell us a little bit about the movie.
I wanted to make a movie just about motherhood, just a laugh-out-loud comedy, but that made every mom that saw the movie feel like, hey, somebody understands what I'm going through. And in this we live in a culture of comparison, and I think a lot of women, I think it's about 40%, are depressed because of what they see online and on the front cover of magazines. And so we need to understand our own worth and value and how much God loves us just for who we are. So the audience response is off the charts. It's so good. Laughter is medicine. But the movie has a very important message as well.
John, some critics have actually trashed the movie, calling it anti-feminist, offensive, and borderline dangerous. What's your response to that?
Yeah, well, first of all, the critics can say anything they want to about the movie or about me as a director or whatever. Again, I'm just putting my life up on screen. I'm a conservative Christian dad, and my wife doesn't work right now. So the fact that our way of life is somehow offensive and dangerous and regressive, I think there needs to be a real conversation about tolerance at this point.
Now, talk about some of the positive reaction you've received about the film.
It's so encouraging to get these incredible responses from the audience, from moms, from couples that are going to see it. There was one on Facebook, she'd seen the movie 5 times. There was one that had seen it. She went to see it with a group of friends and then went and got her husband and went back to the theater and they saw it together. And so it's just great to give voice to our way of life and to an audience that's underserved. And ultimately, as a Christian, we want to give God's truth to our culture through film. We're developing 3 or 4 films, but I think the one that's going to be next is an incredible true sports story that has just an incredible message, and we're really excited about it. And we're able to do that because, Mom's Night Out is a financial success.
John Irwin, thanks for your insights. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, that's going to do it for now on CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com.
Take the time to tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do it on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Be sure to join us right here next time. Have a fabulous Friday and a wonderful weekend.
Inside every child is a hero, a leader, a friend to others, someone who helps out, who does the right thing, who dreams of what they can be, but they still need our help.
What should I do? What should I say? How should I feel?
That's where Superbook comes in. It provides moral and spiritual truths through situations children can relate to, teaching God's Word to the children you love. Join the Superbook DVD Club and receive Superbook's newest episodes as they're available, plus 2 copies to share with others, all for your gift of only $25. Get Superbook today and watch the miracles happen.
Every day, people are connecting on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Now you can be part of the conversation and connect on topics you care about through 700 Club Interactive. Log on to Facebook, Twitter, or go to YouTube and share your opinions, your prayer requests, and your videos while making friends in our community.
Well, welcome to the show.
Join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. 700 Club Interactive. Be a part of the show.